Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzati binti Azman.
Hi, my name is Samiha binti Zulkifli.
Hi, my name is Tuan Fatin Zulaikha binti Tuan Muhammad Rukiman.
Hi, my name is Narizatul Huda binti Muhtar. Today we will present about Community Murabahah Islamic Home Finance in dealing with abandoned housing projects in Malaysia.
The objectives of these topics are: first, to learn the commodity Murabahah terminology. The second objective is to study the issue in commodity Murabahah in the context of abandoned housing project problems and their repercussions, such as horror and losses sustained by purchaser consumers, and then to propose improvements in commodity Murabahah terms in the face of abandoned housing project problems.
Today, owning a home is not a luxury but a necessity. Once you have or own a stable home, the home will be the base everything begins. And also, home is a safe place and a comfort zone where it is a place to stay with family and where it's build the memory as well. With Ability Home Financing Scheme provided by both conventional and Islamic banks have made access to home ownership easier, especially for the middle income group. But however, one of the problems faced now regarding housing is where the issue of abandoned housing project is growing, which will make it difficult for individuals who want to own a home. Before that, Murabahah is a particular kind of sale where the seller expressly mention the cost of the sold commodity he has incurred and sell it to another person by adding some profit thereon. Thus Murabahah is not a loan given on interest. It is a sale of a commodity for cash price. The causes of abandoned housing project in Malaysia. First, financial crisis. Financial crisis and bankruptcy by developers are the highest leading causes contributing to abandoned housing project. As we know, finance is very important, especially in all projects, because to succeed in a project, money is the main thing to start construction. And a good financial system is needed to manage the cash flow of many in the company to avoid any financial problem, such as late payment, insufficient financial resources, and so on. And also, delays in payment to contractors will affect the contractor's cash flow, where delays in payment result in slow progress inside, as many subcontractors and suppliers are subject to financial problems. Second, law. A lack of knowledge of the law of the housing project industry by the developers and breach of contract have a higher probability as compared to other factors which can contribute to the housing project becoming such an idle and the process failed towards, where legal factors occur due to inappropriate project planning and scheduling that will result in a higher frequency of schedule adjustment. This may contribute for delay in project or abandoned housing project may occur. Hence, inappropriate contractual arrangement will contribute to dispute in the project, as it may be that the parties involved feel the law is placed as biased. And the last one is management. Management is another important factor in housing development. Management may ensure that the project is well organized and also complete on budget and time. There are also problems associated with abandoned housing projects due to the failure of contractors which are weak in management. Contractors are important people to the construction sectors who need to have a good planning in construction activities. However, contractors and subcontractors sometimes cause problems to developers which such as hired unqualified workers, lack or excess supply of materials on site, failure by contractors and project delay. From this result, it can be concluded that management generally has a very important role in housing projects.
Next, I will continue for the slide the losses that the purchaser have to bear. The abandonment of one housing project can have a negative effect on many parties. However, the house buyers are the ones that are being victimized first and suffer the most. The victim of this project is under unbearable suffering. Some may have spent their life saving, and there may also be some of them who are under the burden of huge debt payments. Among the losses that the purchaser has to bear is: first, they cannot get the house complete as promised by the housing developer and as stipulated under the sale and purchase agreement on time. Second, some of them may have been blacklisted and unable to buy a new house because they failed to repay the loan. Third, they will have to incur additional costs if the new rehabilitation party agrees to carry out the rehabilitation, as the end financial funds are not enough to cover the cost of the rehabilitation. Fourth, they had to bear the additional costs of renting a house while waiting for the restoration process of an abandoned housing project to be complete. And the last one, they may have to suffer irreparable damage and losses because the abandoned housing project cannot be restored as there is no party interested in restoring the project, or the project cannot be implemented for restoration. Next slide is Murabahah. Murabahah is the most common mode and the most popular Islamic financing product. It is also known as Maka or cost plus financing. According to Bank Negara Malaysia, Murabahah refers to a sale and purchase of an asset where the acquisition cost and the markup are disclosed to the purchaser. Murabahah is a sale and purchase contract which is binding in nature. Therefore, the contract shall not be terminated unilaterally by any of the contracting parties. The specific inherent nature of the contract of Murabahah is the sale contract, which is based on the element of trust in disclosing the cost and markup. The common inherent nature of a sale contract is the transfer of ownership of the asset from the seller to the purchaser. Remember, Murabahah is not a loan given on interest. It is a sale of a commodity for cash or deferred price. The bank purchased the commodity in cash and sell it to the client on a profit. Since the client doesn't have enough money, so the client will buy the commodity on a deferred payment basis. Next, use of Murabahah commodities in Islamic banking. The issue of the use of Murabahah commodities in Islamic banking shows the consistency of the principle outlined by Fuqaha based on the argument of the mechanism of the use Murabahah commodities, which is an extension of Bai al-Murabahah that has been allowed to use. According to the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) of Bank Negara Malaysia, in the 51st meeting held on 28 July 2005, has decided that deposit and financing product based on the concept of tawarruk known as commodity murabahah is allowed. The purpose is to offer new instrument to Islamic financial institution to manage the liquidity of fund in the Islamic interbank money market. Murabahah commodities also provide return based on margin or markups from the sale or purchase of assets. Therefore, there is no issue in the use of commodity murabahah as practiced in the Islamic banking industry nowadays. It is because, apart from being a new instrument, commodity murabahah is also a form of helping among Islamic financial institutions, especially in the money market between Islamic banks.
I will continue the presentation with use of Murabahah contracts in Flexi Home Financing I financing products. In the use of Murabahah contracts in Flexi Home Financing I, the CIMB Bank acts to buy the commodity from broker 1 at cost price and sell it to the customer at cost price plus margin. Thus, between banks and consumers, there are no Sharia concerns about the use of Murabahah contracts in housing financing product. It is because it has been agreed by the bank and the customer. Then, the issue related to commodity Murabahah does not exist. This clearly shows that it has been agreed that the bank has bought the commodity at cost price and sold it to the customer at a margin price. Next, we go to the intro of the Flexi Home Financing I. Among the housing products offered by CIMB Islamic Bank is a Flexi Home Financing I. It is an innovative home financing product. It is also a home financing scheme offered for the convenience of home buyers. The Tawarruk concept underpins the Flexi Home Financing I products. As we know, Tawarruk is similar to the Murabahah commodity in terms of concept. Buyers who use the Flexi Home Financing I product will receive benefit not available with other financing products because it is directly linked to the Murabahah I special current account, which will receive the amount deposited as well as any additional fund to be deposited in the current account I based on Sharia principles. Customers do not have to pay any fees because they can withdraw and deposit funds from a loan account. So, when customers use the Flexi Home Financing I product, they will be instantly linked to the Murabahah I special current account. One of the benefits of using this account is that it will be balance the amount of customer home finance, lowering the profit charge and shortening the between customer payment. Customer will also profit on a monthly basis. We go to the characteristic of Flexi Home Financing I. There are several features of Home Flexi Financing I, which is flexibility, duty savings term, amount and duration financing, and easy payment. So we go to the first one, which is flexibility. Customer will benefit from a flexible profit rate based on the movement of the basic financing rate, and they will be able to withdraw money from the Murabahah I special current account at any moment by check or ATM. Second, a duty savings stamp. Duty savings stamps with a 20% reduction on new financing applications and full duty exemption stamps for refinance applicants from conventional to Sharia compliant financings are available. Next, amount and duration financing, which is the minimum loan amount is 150,000 ringgit with a 5-year repayment period. A maximum of 35 years is allowed or until the applicant reaches the age of 70. And And the last one is easy payment. So, the customer can pay monthly installment at any CIMB bank branch or through cash deposit machines located around the country. Next, I will explain to you guys steps to obtain Flexi Home Financing I. So, there are 7 steps, which is first of all, customers who pick the Flexi Home Financing I scheme to purchase a home must submit an application to CIMB Islamic Bank. Customer will provide the bank with transaction documents. Commodity Murabahah is the idea used in this house finance. Second, through broker 1, the bank will purchase the appropriate commodity. Third, the bank will sell the commodity to the consumer through a Murabahah contract at a price decided by the bank, which is principal plus profit based on deferred payment. Step number 4 is the customer will ask the bank to resell the commodity in the market through a wakalah contract. Next, the bank will act as the customer's designated sales agent and sell the commodity to broker 2. Step number 6, the bank will then credit the customer account with the proceeds from the commodity sale. And the last step is the consumer must pay the bank the stipulated installment, which is principal plus profit, using the agreed upon method.
We move to the lack of commodity Murabahah in line of abandoned house project. First, there is no provision in the commodity Murabahah that protects the buyer or customer and prevents gharar and loss to the buyer's customer. It is important, for example, that there be conditions stating the developer or responsibility vendors to repay any money received from the bank or the responsibility to rebuild a housing project abandoned by the defaulting developer or other party. Similarly, no rule in the commodity Murabahah requires the developer or vendor to get insurance as financial support to cover costs or restoration or to pay compensation to the injured party. The next point is no condition in the commodity Murabahah requiring the construction of a house said to employ, build and sell in full or similar was obtained before the parties engage into the commodity Murabahah agreement. Based on a review of the term and conditions of the commodity Murabahah sample, a hypothesis may be formed that there is no phrase that protects purchasing customers from any losses and gharar made as a result of the abandonment of home construction projects. Another difficulty with commodity Murabahah is that the funding cost is very expensive. As a result, the profit margin rate is higher, which may be burdensome to consumers. The first suggestion is commodity Murabahah documents must include extra provision that adequately safeguard the rights and interests for purchaser consumers, such as for those who are requiring the housing development seller to rehabilitate or pay the injured parties in the case of abandonment should be considered. Furthermore, there should be a particular system in place to protect all essential stakeholders from any losses and complaints resulting from housing abandonment, such as the housing developer should have housing insurance to cover the circumstance when a housing project is abandoned. For the conclusion, the difficulty of finance is one of the causes of abandoned housing project. The hardship of abandoned housing project victims who purchase homes with bank finance are threefold. First, the house has been abandoned, and second, they are saddled with a massive debt. Due to the debt-based character of the contract, the victims must carry all responsibilities in full, even when the money was obtained through an Islamic bank. Islamic banks accept no responsibility or carry no obligations that contradict the primary objectives of their existence, which is the fulfillment of maqasid al-sharia.